Hello, my name is Michael with JTech, and I'm going to be showing you how to do a compression test on a 1999 Honda Accord. I already have the spark plugs removed. This is a V6. One of the first things that you're going to want to do is you're going to remove the fuel pump relay because you don't want the fuel spraying in the cylinders while you're cranking the engine. For the fuel pump relay, it was a fuse over here.
Hey, what we do with spark plug socket? Anybody see it?
On the side, driver's side dash panel. You look down here, it says 1 15 amp fuel pump. Here's the one. You can see I've already removed that.
I had it over there at that table. Do we give them back the spark plugs? Do your best to work past that.
And since I already have the spark plugs removed, what you're going to do is get the compression test gauge right here. You're going to have to make sure one of them has a strainer. And then you're just going to turn it inside of here. And once that is plugged in, what you're going to do is you're going to start the car and you're going to crank it over about 4 times. And that should give you a base number for that first cylinder. Let's go ahead and do that. Michael. There we go, and it's looking about 182, and that would just be that first cylinder right there. And we would do the same thing for the next cylinder, and then for the next cylinder, and we'd take all 3 of those readings, well, all 6 of those readings. I'm only doing 3 for the video. And we would compare that to the base number of the manufacturer's compression rating. So if you have a lower PSI, there could possibly be some piston ring seals that are damaged, or maybe a valve is not closing all the way. I did want to let you know that a secondary safety measure is that you could go ahead and remove the ignition, the ignition, key ignition, and I believe it is a fuse right inside of this box. Yeah, and that would be a dry compression test. Once you're done, you just put all the spark plugs back in and make sure everything's good to go. Next, we're going to be going over a wet compression test, and by wet, that just means that we're going to be taking some of this oil right here, and we're going to be spraying the inside of the cylinder walls. There we go. 1, 2, give it 2 little squirts. And what that is going to do is going to let us know if the piston ring seals are doing their job. Let me go ahead and take this strainer out. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to crank it over 4 times. Perfect. And it looks like we got 190, almost 200 PSI. So it looks like those piston seals are doing their job. So we're gonna go ahead and do a running compression test. And just keep in mind that we have to take the numbers that we got from our cranking compression test and make sure that it is up to 80% of that number. So we got 180 PSI for our cranking test. So if we get, what, 80% of 160, or 80% of 180 is 160, right? So if we get 160, that means that there's no restriction inside of the engine. If we get below 160, then that means that there's probably going to be a restriction coming through the intake. Or if we get above 160, then there's probably going to be a restriction going out the exhaust. First, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure those spark plugs are back in, and you're going to go ahead and have your gauge hooked into one of your spark plug cylinders, and you're going to want to bleed this off, and then go ahead and do a wide open throttle on the engine, and then give that number. So let's go ahead and bleed this off. Wide open throttle, and hold on, I don't know where the throttle is. Okay, I found it. Alright, we'll bleed this off. Wide open throttle. And it looks like it's holding at about 160, so it looks like there's no restriction in this engine. Well, that's about it.